Get a minute of you. First job that I live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. God of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye. I'm all like, oh my gosh, the pressure was on. I couldn't even post it properly.
I know. I'm like, we're going on in 4 seconds.
I'm just trying to share it. I'm just trying to share it to my friends. And I can't even spell properly. I have no glasses. So I'm like, I'm trying to spell confidence and it's like confidence. I can't even see. I'm sorry.
So on that word, confidence.
Yes. Hold on. I can't see. Okay. Confidence. Okay.
On that word, confidence.
Yes.
Is it SCON F?
F-I.
Is it F-I or F-A? Dance or dance?
What is I? Confidence.
I know. But then when I typed it in, when I was doing the thing.
Let me try it.
Try it. Confidence or dance?
Confidence. So CONFIDENCE. Confidence.
Okay. So
See,
that's
it's right there.
I know.
Confidence.
Right. Now the E after the D.
Yeah.
Put an A.
Confidence.
Yes.
Is it a different meaning?
Hang on one second.
You know, I can't see. You're like getting me to comfy and then dance.
When I looked it up on the dictionary, it said this.
It's a confidence studio. They have a 4.5 rating.
Oh my gosh, this one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing comes up for me.
Okay, so here it is. Confident. Oh.
Do you have your glasses on? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I do have my glasses on. Because so this is the reason why. When I was typing in the descriptions and stuff, I put in confidence, D-E. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, oh, is it D-A? So I typed in D-A, and then it said it was correct as well.
Oh, maybe it's depending where you're at. I don't know, because I know an E, and then when I'm Googling it, it says it with an E.
Confidence.
Maybe it's thinking of a confidant. Big word.
No, it's not.
It's a big word for Miguel. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to have you here. We had a little bit of some tech issues to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, but we finally made it. I was able to share it on my social media platforms. But the issue is I have no glasses, so I can barely see. So if you're on my social media and you follow me, you know the level of my spelling sometimes. When that happens, please trust that I don't have my glasses and I'm trying my best. And I'm like, this is me with the phone. I'm like, oh my gosh.
But you made a decision today.
Oh, that's been in like the past week. Yeah. I'm going I'm going to have a consultation for LASIK surgery. Which is, the laser beam that's supposed to fix your eyes and help you to have better vision for X amount of years.
Yeah, it shaves off layers.
Don't tell me.
No, that's what it does.
I know, but I don't need to know the details of how it happens.
Yeah.
Let me just be.
But you know what they do? They take out the eyeball and they shave it off and then they put it back in.
That's not what they do.
Yeah.
That's not what they do.
You didn't know that?
That's not what they do. It's a laser. How could they take out your eyeball if it's a laser fixing your eye?
I know. So, sorry. They open up the eyeball, right? Like they whatever.
Okay, I don't need to know the details.
They take it out of the socket, and with one hand they have it, and then they're shaving it off, and they put it back in.
Perfect.
You're okay with that?
I'm 100%. If it means that I don't have to have such a horrible spelling. And that I don't have to be like
no. Let's get it straight. The horrible spelling's because of your immigrant status.
No, listen.
It has nothing to do with your eyes.
I feel like everywhere else I'm aging gracefully. With my eyeballs, that's not the case. My eyeballs are.
I know. I was
50-year-old eyeballs.
I still remember how I felt when, because it's still recent, when I couldn't see, and I was like, and I put on these, and then I went to
It's like 4K vision. It's a brand new world.
It is.
I know.
And I put on the glasses, and I'm like, what? Am I at that stage now that I need glasses?
Listen, I asked Mike, I was like, is this what everybody else sees? Like, I had no idea because I fought it for so long, right? I mean, it's been for years and years that I haven't been able to see properly. Like, I could make out words and I could do it, but it was a little bit of a strain on my eyes.
So in church, so last year, so this has been, I've been now wearing glasses for about a year or so. So in church during sacrament, I'm conducting, and I'm like, I refuse to wear glasses.
So you don't wear glasses when you're up there?
But hang on, let me finish. So I'm up there. This is last year. So I'm up there, and I'm conducting, whatever, and then I'm looking at the piece of paper, and I'm like, I can't see anything, and I'm like, nope. So I take out the glasses out of nowhere and I put them on. Everybody starts laughing at me.
You're like, you gotta see. That's me.
So I have, before we get to our topic today, I have something that's somewhat of controversial to ask you.
Oh,
I want
to
get your opinion.
Okay, tell me.
I know you like controversy.
I like sharing my opinion on things. Yes.
So we might have the same opinion on this. It's only because I saw this and I saved it. And then I want to know, I'm like, I think I want to talk to Maria about this live.
Okay, tell me.
So it was another podcast.
Okay.
And the guy asked the girl,
okay,
what's the worth of a woman? What's the value of a woman? Mm-hmm. So before we go on, let me ask you that. What is the value of a woman? How do you define the value of a woman?
How do I define it, or what is the worth of a woman? It makes me like, so when I first heard what you said, it makes me think of the Bible, and it made me think of the word virtue. It says above, like the values above all, like rubies or something like that, right? Like all gems. So I think women are priceless. That is my.
I agree.
That is my take on this, and I think that. Inherently, we all have this value. Men and women have this value, right? We're all different.
Let's not talk about men right now. Just the woman. What is the value of a woman?
Priceless. Kidding me?
Okay.
Like the amount of things that, first of all, the childbearing, okay? And let's not just talk about the childbearing that happens, but every month, because of that childbearing, something else happens. And that something else is over a period of a week that a woman has to deal with, right? I'm like, priceless.
I disappear. I'm like, I'm going to a hotel later.
I'm like, legit. I'm like, it affects your hormones. It affects how you see the world. It affects like how you interact with people. It's painful.
Okay.
Like, trust me, once, like for a period of a week, every month, right? And then you still have to function normally. You still have to like do everything you need to do. Yeah. Plus, we have this inherent ability to just be more of a nurturer and be more present with feelings and be there for people, I think. So I think it's priceless.
Okay. And what defines the value of a woman?
The fact that she's born.
Yeah.
That absolutely defines the value of a woman. There's nothing else that she needs to do in order to prove her value.
Okay.
She's a woman. She's born. There we go. Inherent value.
Okay. So here's the question. Okay. Right? What's the value of a man?
Same. 100%.
And how do you define his value?
Wait, how do I define his value?
Yeah.
For the fact that he's born and he's there.
Okay.
There's nothing else. There's nothing outside of the human being that defines the value or the worth of someone. Is the inherent fact that you're a living being.
So here's what this podcast said, right? And chime in.
Tell me. I'm excited.
So the guy asked the girl, right? And he goes, what, the podcaster guy, and goes, what's the value of a woman? And goes, the woman defines her own value. She's powerful. She's all strong, which I agree with all that. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying no, right? So don't find me
Miguel's
and slash
an
my tire.
anti-woman.
No, I am definitely not. And then, so she's like powerful. She's like, the woman she's entitled to defining her own worth and her own value. And he goes, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And he goes, guys can't do that. And
okay.
And so I'm like, anyways, the minute he said that, caught my eye, and I was like, what is he going to say next?
Okay. I'm excited. Like, tell me more. I'm like, send me this podcast. I need to hear it.
Well, he said, right? He goes, a woman can decide her own value and her own worth, and we go along with it. Because if you don't, then you're considered
chauvinist and
all that, whatever. But a man can't do that because a man cannot come and say, well, I'm good as I am, whatever. But then he is held at a higher standard that if he is not working, he's a deadbeat. If he's not providing, he's a deadbeat. If he's not protecting, he's a coward. It goes, so men are put on this they're put on this pedestal not on a pedestal, they're put on a platform that if you don't hit that standard, then you are not good enough or man worthy.
Yeah.
Versus a woman can get away from just saying, well, this is what I believe in, this is who I am, and we all have to follow suit in with that line. Because if you don't, and if you disagree with that, then you're a chauvinistic pig.
I have to say that I do agree that it's a tough time to be a man.
Yeah.
Because there's the expectation, like, you know, man should do this, man should do that, and and like, and sometimes there's this pendulum that swings so extreme, and then, you know, in a woman's effort to, I guess, like exceed her value and her worth, which in all inherently you're valuable because you're born. You don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Right.
But a lot of people feel like you need to prove something to someone else. Yeah. And sometimes in doing so, it minimizes the other person, or that's what it tries to do. I was having these exact conversation with Mike, and I worry because I have boys. Yeah. My boys are freaking valuable. Yeah. They are amazing. They're going to be, they are amazing young men. They're going to be amazing men, amazing husbands. And sometimes I do worry about the way that society goes, where a man is expected to do to almost have qualities that are not innate to them, and then be criticized for not having them.
Well, and it goes above that too. It's the fact that there's expectations that a man should be, and what he shouldn't be, and then when we try to do the same thing to a woman, it's like, oh, you can't do that.
It's like gender role. Like, how dare you have a gender role?
Yeah.
Like, and that's sometimes what I do. Like, you know, with Mike, sometimes I tell him, oh, that's a man's job. Or like taking out the garbage or doing certain things. And he's like, what about equal rights? It should be a woman's job too, right? Which he is right? Yeah. Like women, and it's been so hard because I think sometimes the pendulum has swung so far against women where they haven't been able to vote. Like, they weren't even considered human beings for such a long time.
They couldn't even open up a bank account without the husband's permission.
I know. Or like they got divorced, they would get nothing.
Yeah.
Like absolutely nothing, right?
So I think, and so going back, because I saw this podcast on Saturday, and it's been on my mind, like that question, right? Or that analysis. And I'm like, anyways, I haven't been able to get rid of it. And today I was at the sauna in the morning, and I was just thinking about it. And then I'm like, there was a time, see, mankind has had dark ages. Yeah. Right? Where, you know, slavery and degrading women and all these different things, right? And there was a time to fight. There was a time to protest. There was a time for feminism. There was time to do all these different things. All these battles that were fought in the past, they weren't fought for that race or culture or society or a gender or whatever to be better, but to be equal. Mm-hmm. Right? So the whole slavery things, blacks weren't fighting for their freedom to be better than the white man or to society or whatever. They were fighting to be equal, to be looked at as equal. And when women were being degraded and minimized, and they couldn't even open up a bank account because of whatever, and there were no parliament positions, and you couldn't even drive your own car because of whatever, there needed to be a fight. They needed to be a protest, and they needed to be pushback, but not to be better than men, but to be equal, right? Yeah. And so, and I think, and this is, I was thinking about this, and then I think, and this is what in the sauna, is that the pendulum has swung so far to one side that we've forgotten what the original fight was for.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you something. What can one do in order to not allow almost the trends of the world? Because if you know, we've all kind of even experienced in this last couple of years the trends that you go from one extreme to the next extreme. Yeah, like what can one do in order to stay the course?
No, I know. I know. It's not a popular vote, but I think we all need to just relax and calm down. It's just we've become, and I'm a firm believer, we've become professional offensee.
So you take offense over everything.
Everything. Like you can't.
you can't get people grace or the ability to grow without being like offended with what they say.
No, so yeah, that's a huge one. But we've become so good at being offended, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we've become professionals.
So I have a quick story for you, Michelle, our friend Michelle. She's in the midwifery program, right? And then one of
that story she was telling.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
I don't know how much we can say.
That'd be a story for another day.
Yeah.
We first need to make sure she's okay with that share again, right?
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure she's okay with me sharing this part of it, right? And not that has to do with that particular story, but she's in a group chat with all the year ones of her particular program, right? And so they all kind of communicate with each other and whatnot. And recently they had an assignment that was due. It was an essay, right? And this person in the program, Michelle!
Not okay.
Can I share that story, girl? About the caps?
No, we can't. I'm saying that we. Oh,
let me share that story about the caps. Hold on, let's wait 2 seconds.
The caps?
Yeah, she'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I'm talking about the story she was telling us.
No, I'm not sharing that story.
Yeah.
That we need to see.
Yeah.
Like that's not a story that we can share.
Yeah.
I feel at least not at this point in time. Okay, let's not share it. Anyway, but it's so easy to get offended, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to read into something. I know this particular person who's older. He's much older. He's part of like the people that I kind of see around every Sunday. But when he okay.
Don't do it.
Anyway, so whenever he communicates over social media, he always writes in caps, and a lot of people like take caps as yelling,
screaming. Yeah,
but he's just older.
Oh,
he just has it like on caps. Like he's not screaming, right? So you sometimes have to make sure that you have the context around with whomever it is that's happening, right? You're not going to judge the same way as potentially like if I'm writing to you and it's all in caps, then you're going to know I'm upset.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody who's older and they're writing you and it's all in caps, you're going to be like, oh, maybe just caps got stuck.
Yeah. So I'll tell you right now. So I've been doing this workshop for a middle school in Brampton. I love this school.
Okay.
Actually, probably one of my favorite schools in Brampton, right?
Okay.
Phenomenal. So this year was the first year, me, whatever. So it's actually similar to the story that I told you a while ago with what happened in Mississauga. Anyways, long story short, I used to dance for not a dance crew, but I used to have a crew of whatever. And for jokes, we used to call each other los niños, which means the kids.
Yeah.
Right? And predominantly we were all Spanish people. And there were these other two like crazy, phenomenal breakdancing crews as well in Toronto. One was called Back to Basics. Mm-hmm. These guys were good. And the other one was called Ghetto's Original. Mm-hmm. Right? Anyway, so I'm doing this workshop, and then I'm like, so I have these two kids. I'm like, all right, I'm going to teach you this routine. It's called Rompe by Daddy Yankee. And so I'm teaching them routines. And like, now you're going to get them to both sides. You guys are going to be back to basics. And I'm like, can you say back to basics? And all these kids, 6, 7, 8, back to basics, just screaming, right? And I'm like, and you guys are Ghetto's Original. Can you guys say Ghetto's Original? Ghetto's Original. And I tell the story, who these two groups are, how amazing they are, and all this phenomenal whatever. Feedback comes in.
This is with the recent school.
This is the recent school.
Oh, dang.
Feedback comes in, and I use the word ghetto.
So it's a triggering word.
What? But it wasn't. But see, here's the thing.
But now it's become a triggering word, I guess. Somebody took offense to it.
I know, but this is where it gets me mad because it's like
you have to walk around in eggshells. You can't even speak properly.
But this is the thing is, right? Even Martin Luther King said it, right? So somebody at some point that wasn't even of that culture said this word is going to be, or this word shouldn't be said. Because anybody that I've spoken to from like the cultures or different race or whatever, they're okay with that. But it was like this group of people that are like, oh, that's a trigger. I'm offended for somebody else.
That's the worst. Oh my gosh, that's
Right?
the worst. When like not even a person who's part of that particular culture takes like, and you're like, and you being as a person of color, because you and I are persons of color, right?
And I grew up in the
And
ghetto.
I'm like,
I grew up in the ghetto. Like I grew up on the project. I grew up on the other side of the train tracks, right? And I could see the other side of the train tracks. I'm like, that person's got money, right? And like green lawn, what is that? And meanwhile, I'm cooking on my hibachi on on the not the porch. What is it called? In apartments?
Deck. Oh, the balcony.
The balcony, right? And it's just like whatever, and the stairwell smelling like pee all the time.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it was horrible, right? It was horrible. And so I grew up on the other side of the tracks. I'm not offended by the word ghetto. Like, I'm not, right? But it was somebody else that was offended for that whatever. And like, I'm offended for them. And like,
it's just this whole, it's hard. It's a hard day and age that we do live in, because we do have to, I do think that we do have to be mindful and carry ourselves with consciousness and care. However, at the same time, I do believe that we are accountable for our own choices. We're accountable with how we perceive the world. There is I love the equation of, there is E plus R equals O. So E is for event, right? And then plus plus R is our response. And then equals our outcome, right? Like, there's no event without a response. Like, there's no event and outcome. That's not what happens. There needs to be a response to that particular event. And it's us ourselves that give the response that we want to give, whether it's whatever it is, we can make it into a negative into a negative outcome or a positive outcome. So, quick story. I was listening to this podcast, and the guy was talking about how there was a story of a dad, alcoholic, like horrible dad. It was a really like rough upbringing for two boys, right? So 2 boys grow up. One becomes an alcoholic. His life is totally in shambles. He's like, you know what? He's like, I blame my dad. My dad did this to me, and because of him is the reason that I am the way that I am, right? Second brother grows up, highly successful, has a family, loving father, is doing the best for his kid. And he says, because of my dad, I am the way that I am.
Yeah.
Same event,
different
response, different outcome, right?
Yeah,
so you kind of have to take accountability, and you have to take accountability, like take extreme accountability and say, okay, I have control over this situation. I have control over how I'm going to respond to this situation, and it is going to create an outcome.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm like, I know that I'm going to put my foot in my mouth. I am quite quick to apologize. Right.
Yeah.
At the same time, on the other hand, I take extreme accountability over my life, and words like that don't trigger me because I don't allow them to trigger me.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, right? So yesterday we were celebrating Isla and Vita's birthday.
Oh my gosh, the girls, how old are they now?
They are too old to date. Too young to date.
Like too old to date, oh gosh.
Too young to date, that's how old they are. Yeah, and so...
How old are they, like 10?
Yeah.
You can't even remember.
Yeah, 10. It's not, they're whatever, they're 10.
They're some age.
Yeah, and so we were cleaning up. Levi's cleaning up. Zayn, the child, the baby, right, said, you're not nice to Levi. Well, Levi flipped out. What are you talking about? I'm like, and so anyway, so I had to break that fight apart. And I'm like, dude, he's 4 years old. All he said was, getting angry is a choice, right? You chose to be angry from the words of a child, right? You could have just walked away and be like, what are you talking about? I'm not nice. I'm the best. And you could have walked away, continue cleaning up. And then, Bob's your uncle. Now, but because he was so hung up on what he said, and then it really triggered him, and he just went on this screaming to the top of his lungs, and it was disgusting, right? But so here's my thing, right? Is that we are so quick to being triggered and looking for excuses to be triggered that I fear that we're teaching the next generation
I'm
wrong.
not.
No. Who?
I'm not. You're not. That's
No.
what we say.
We are not, right? We're quick to
we nip that in the butt.
100%. In my house, that doesn't fly. However,
Yeah.
society, 80% are teaching their kids how to be professionally offended.
The issue with having a mindset like that too is that we put onus of somebody else's behavior that they need to change in order for us to have a good day. They need to do this in order for us to do it.
100%.
And it's hard. It's hard living your life according to somebody else's terms, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to kind of take back that control, to realize, you know what, I can do this. I'm more than my emotions. Let me figure out what's important to me, and let me act based on what's important to me.
So I did a research piece. Oh yeah,
Hold on, yeah. Let's do this.
What does he say?
I don't have glasses, so go.
So Ed Limon says, what's up, buddy? He goes, it's like walking on eggshells. How many times you're at an event because you didn't acknowledge someone because your mindset is focused on something else? They get totally offended. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Life is like a camera. Focus on what is important. Capture the good times. Develop from the negative. And if things don't work out, take another shot.
That's an awesome quote, Dad.
So
appropriate. Like he's holding a camera. Is he holding a camera
yeah.
on his picture?
You know what he does, right?
I 100% know what he does. So our dear friend Ed here, he is in the film industry.
Well, not dear friend, the guy that we don't like anymore.
Dear friend.
No, he moved. He's not eligible to be our friend anymore.
He lost He lost status.
We have a radius, right?
It's Ontario.
Yeah, the Ontario. If you go outside of that radius, you stop being our friend, right? So, but no, I love that. And
it's true,
so he puts it on quote. Ed, do you mind saying who quoted that? Like that is a phenomenal.
Yeah. Here, put it on, share it on there. So if you're watching the replay, you can actually see the quote, see his comments.
Yeah. So again, I love that quote. So life is like a camera. Focus on what is important. Capture the good times. Develop from the negative. And if things don't work out, take another shot.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Listen, your mindset and the way that you view the world dictates so much of it's your thoughts that dictate how you see the world and how you interact with the world and then how the world receives you.
Okay.
So basically, there's this whole concept that we all have mirror neurons.
Who?
So a mirror neuron, it's something that's legit. It's
is that from yawning?
Yes.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, if somebody yawns, stop it. I'm like, oh my gosh. So a mirror neuron pretty much.
I know you want to.
I know. It's like right here.
Do it. Just let it happen. Let it happen.
No, I think I was able to control it.
Why are you fighting it? Yawn.
I think I was able to control it.
Yawn.
I feel like it's right here. Like my jaw wants to open.
I bet you somebody out there right now is yawning. Yawn.
Because it even works through on the phone if somebody's on there. But do you guys want to know why? I don't. If this is your first time catching us talking about mirror neurons, is that we have these neurons that pretty much reflect back what we see, right?
Okay.
So
monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. So let's say you come in, you yawn, I yawn, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you come in and you have this negative energy. I'm gonna match your negative energy.
Yeah.
Right. You come in, you have
that.
Yeah, you have this positive energy. I'm gonna try my best to I'm gonna match it, right? Because it's gonna take me by surprise. So this is the thing. If the world around you don't like, the easiest way to change the world around you is by looking back at you and realizing, like, what are the areas that I could improve in?
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I had this thought the other day. I wish you would have known me. Well, actually, you wouldn't have known me if I was the same person as I was 7 years ago.
Dang.
So when I was 12 years old, I was extremely shy. Like,
that's not true.
Painfully shy.
That's not true.
Awkward shy.
That's not true.
Oh my gosh.
I doubled down on
100%.
BS.
100%.
Who can I verify this from?
My mother, or I think. And like, I have a friend, her name is Tracy, and I messaged her the other day. We went to the same middle school, and I had to message her because I had to thank her for being nice to me during the most awkward years of my life. I legit messaged her. I was like, hey Tracy, I was like, thank you so much for being my friend in like the hardest, worst, like most challenging time of my life. Well, wasn't the most challenging, but in my teenage self, it was, right? Yeah. So backstory, I was born in Ecuador. In Ecuador, I was picked on a lot about my weight, right? I was called gordis, right? And, you know, people say it lovingly.
But but that's it. You took offense to it, even though they said it?
Yeah, because I was a chunkier. Like, I was thicker, right?
Yeah.
There are people that don't take offense. Like, if you're super skinny and they call you gordis, maybe you won't, right?
No, but here's the...
Sorry, I'm getting all heated now.
Yeah, no, I know. She's ready to fight. No, but like in our country, like when you say that, right, it's taken as term as endearment. Like even though you're like bigger and you say, hey, gordita or gordo, gordito.
No, but for me it wasn't. It was.
So you heard it, and even though it was delivered out of culture, you were taking it still.
100%. I was a child and I was impressionable, and I had people, and like it wasn't just that I had data that like verify that information. Like one of my earliest memories that has to be related with weight is being, this is in Ecuador, right? So they wouldn't do that here, but being in a big lineup of girls and we're having health checks and everybody was getting weighed in front of everybody. These kids are like 60, 70 pounds, right? I come on there. I was like the heaviest kid. I think I was like 101. And I think I had another classmate who was like 102, like legit. And so imagine me in my mind, I'm seeing all these other kids that are way lighter than I am. I'm there, I like jump on, I'm 101 pounds. I have people calling me gordis, right? And then I have when like people are upset with me, right? Like they say it like not in a nice way. So my mindset was already self-conscious that it came from that. So that's all that I saw. So translate that, at least no one, I called my husband ginormous. I was like, what? I meant it as a compliment. And he was like so offended by it because like I called him that the day I met him, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I remember the story. So here's this girl who likes this guy. And she's like, man, you're ginormous.
I said it with the most, like, legit. I was, and that to me meant scrumptious, delicious. I want to jump your bones kind of thing. He knows that now, but it took like 7 years for us to figure out, for me to know that he was offended by that.
We were at a dinner, and then that's when you told us the story. I was like dying inside. You liked him and you called him ginormous?
Yeah, because I thought in my mind it was a compliment. Clearly it wasn't to him, right? And I totally get why. But anyway, get back to the story, okay?
Funny. Okay, go.
So remember, I've gone through all this. I'm self-conscious. I'm 12 years old. I'm the most awkward kid ever. I'm like the type of kid, doesn't say a word, but is trying to be friends with you. So I'll just stand next to you.
Really? Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
I had a sleepover. I invited people. You know how many people showed up? 0. Legit. I was out there trying to make friends. I didn't speak English properly. I had like a huge accent. I'm like self-conscious because I'm the only like person of color in the neighborhood that I live in. Legit. Those were some hard years.
You would have been a horrible podcast co-host.
Oh, 100%.
Back then.
So I had to develop. In order to be able to do this, I had to develop, right?
Man. Okay.
But I was thinking about myself in my 12-year-old self and how down I felt of myself. And I just felt like reaching out to her. And I'm going to cry because I like legit can picture her and just telling her like, it's going to be okay. Like you're going to grow, you're going to develop, and you're going to be able to find your tribe, right?
I don't know if you can see this. She's actually crying right now.
Because I've come a long way. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. And she was telling me, she's like, oh my gosh, wow, you do all these things and you do a podcast and you do this and you're so social and you can talk to people and you do this and you do that. And I'm like, I wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
It's so easy to see this without seeing like the before. And the before was a broken kid, a broken 20-year-old, like a broken person. And not because I didn't have the love around me, is because I didn't love myself, right? So you can't change, right? I stop it.
No, because you have no idea.
Why am I crying? Why am I crying?
No. You have no idea right now how hard
it's not to make fun of me.
No.
While I have boogers down my.
No. That for me holding back like tears right now. I'm
gosh.
looking at you right now. It's just like similar story, but like with me it was different. So I get your pain. But anyways.
Yeah, because and that's the thing, right? I'm like, if I could tell you anything with regards to all this, that you can't change.
There's Kleenex over there, dude.
Oh, I know, right? He's fully prepared for me nowadays.
I went out and bought a box and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to get every podcast. So.
You know what? It's just a gift. Just give me like a gift of tissue.
Yeah. And a brush.
Not your face. But anyway, legit. So I'm like, going along what we were talking about, mirror neurons, my reality when I was 12 matched the way that I was feeling. I was awkward. Wow. So everybody that was around me was awkward because I was awkward, right?
Yeah.
Come to now that I've developed this skill of being able to talk to strangers, especially with doing like the last portion of 75 Hard where I had to. And it's incredible how people are able to match your energy. I show up, I talk to people. It's so much easier now making that short conversation.
Yeah.
But in reality, the reality that I have is because of the energy that I put out. Like I'm so blessed with so many amazing friends and like and people that want to be there for me, and it's incredible, and I truly feel that it is because that's how I am and that's what I put out to the world. I'm quick to be there for people. I'm quick to love people as they are. I'm quick to be forgiving and to give grace, and I truly believe that like the universe and Heavenly Father gives me the same thing back.
So did you know that I snapped my Achilles tendon years ago?
Yeah, you were doing I remember you in your boot.
Yeah.
I remember your crutches. Is that
I had crutches. Yeah, no, I had crutches for a bit. Yeah, I couldn't walk. So before I got my boots, I had my crutches because I couldn't walk. So something about your Achilles tendon that I learned a lot. You need it. You need an Achilles, right? Achilles. You need an Achilles tendon. So it connects the foot pretty much to the calf. And why you need your calf? You need your calf to go up the stairs, right? It helps you lift. You need the calf to push forward and walk.
Yeah.
Without a calf, you can't do any of that stuff.
It's so true because I'm like, there's your hamstring that goes right up, right? Like what would shelter your hamstring?
It's connected. It's connected. The foot is connected to the calf muscle, and it's the Achilles tendon, right? And that's what connects it. And so because that's why out of your legs, you might be like this skinny person, but your calves are always so packed, like they're so chunky, right? Because you use the calf muscle via Achilles tendon to go up the stairs, to walk forward, to get up from a chair. All of that stuff is a calf muscle.
Oh man!
And so when the Achilles tendon snapped, I didn't have access to it. So now if you see both of my calf muscles,
they look different.
Huge different. The one on my right, it's just massive still. The one on my left is very, very small. Like every time I get them massaged, she's like, this is ridiculous. Just the size difference. It's very noticeable.
One is like fully like hollow. The other one's like this.
No, it is. It's crazy, right? So now I'm trying to develop it more because I'm still. Anyways, long story short, I was in cane and I was with the boot and I was still hitting the gym. Like I had to, right?
Okay.
I remember one time I went to the bank, and I'm not saying this to boast. It made such a huge, massive impact in my life. I went into the bank to cash a couple of checks and crutches and whatever, and the tenant person, whatever it's called.
The teller.
The teller, sure. He goes, "Man, how are you doing?" Right? Like holy crap, like you look awful, right? And I'm like, "Dude, I'm doing amazing." That's what I said, right? And he was like, you kind of taken back. And I was like, really?
Because people are so quick to complain.
Right.
Everybody loves to complain.
Yeah. And he goes, but he was just taken back.
Wasn't expecting that.
And he goes, yeah.
Be a rebel. Say that when people ask you.
He goes, why? He goes, well, you're in a cast. I go, but I'm alive to be in a cast.
Oh, true.
Right? And so, and I'm going to the gym right now, and I'm just happy. And then he said this, and this is what made an impact. He goes, I would love to hang out with you just for a day, just to absorb some of that energy. And I was so grateful. I'm telling you right now, I was so grateful for that because I've noticed exactly with what you're saying. And that's why I want to like double down. The energy that you put out.
The energy you give back.
It's the energy you're going to receive.
Yeah.
Right? And I never tied it to mirror neurons. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think... And even
that's why if you smile at someone, there's a really high likelihood that there's gonna smile back. Like nobody just. I mean, sometimes I guess they could, but for the most part, people smile at you, like you smile back at them. Yeah,
even at church on Sunday, I'm like, "Oh, Bishop, how are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing amazing." It's like, "Of course." He's like, "Do you know any other words?" Because I'm always answering, "I'm doing amazing," right?
Yes, actually, let me take out my trusty cup.
But so and this ties perfectly with today's subject because you've mentioned this before.
Okay.
That because of the energy that you're putting out, you've had people talk trash.
Oh, 100%. So it still happens.
It still happens.
Well, yeah. I'm like, it happens because I've shared with you, I'm having some difficulties in some of my relationship, right? Yeah. There's no way that somebody can give me attitude without talking trash about me, right? The irony I leave on Derek. Listen, do as we say, not as we do. Just kidding.
Listen, this is personal.
Just kidding.
So yeah.
But yeah, like it's part. Not everybody's gonna be comfortable with the energy you put out, and that's okay. But for the most part, that energy that you put out is gonna help other people. Won't help everybody, but it will help someone.
So again, going to our topic today, right? By the way, 4 words to describe how I feel for Miguel and Maria.
Oh, Ed, you're amazing. Thank you.
You're all right. You would be better if you were being Ontario, but you're all right, Calgary boy. But
I think he's in Lethbridge.
oh, left Alberta.
Oh,
I
I
meant
don't
to
know.
say
Somewhere in
Alberta.
Alberta he is.
Yeah.
Somewhere cold, because I think it's really cold there right now.
Somewhere apostate. That's all I know. It's somewhere apostate.
Oh my gosh, don't get him started, because I think all his neighborhood is like. Anyway, go on.
No, it's when you put out a positive energy, and I think this is what's happening to me as well. You're gonna get people that they think it's fake,
Yeah.
and they don't like the energy that you're putting out, and whether they take offense or whether they just don't like you for whatever reason, they have something negative to say about your output.
Yeah.
And so you have. So first of all, how do you deal with that?
Well, I
Because
remind.
you've dealt with it online.
Yeah.
I've never dealt with it online. I've dealt with it in person.
Yeah, I've dealt with it online. So I remind myself, and it's been really like helping me, the fact that I do a lot of personal development. So that is a strong foundation of how I interact with the world, because it reminds me, because my emotions do want to get the best of me. My emotions do want to get offended. My emotions do want to get on that horse and be like, who the... I just kidding.
Who the H-E?
Think they are, you know what I mean? Like, it's so natural to feel that way,
I
and
know.
everybody feels that way, right? But then you take a couple seconds and you're like, okay, basically the judgment that is going out there is based, everybody judges based on the frame of their experience, of the events that have gone through in their life, and how they feel about themselves, right? And
Okay.
so if somebody's judging you based on how you're showing up in the world, most likely is because that particular person that's judging you either would feel super uncomfortable showing up in that world, or like in a world like that, or just cannot see how it's possible to show up in the world like that, because for them it's not yet, right?
Wow.
So that helps me a lot, just to get my thoughts in order and just to be more forgiving and embrace, because one of my mantras, or one of the things or affirmations that I'm doing currently, is that I want to be quick to forgive. I want to, and I say that every morning, I am forgiving. This is the reason why, because it's not necessarily about the other person. It's about me. I don't want to carry that burden. I don't want to carry the burden of worrying about what somebody else is thinking or doing or anything about me, because it's a heavy burden. That burden affects how I feel about myself. That burden affects how I show up in the world. That burden affects how I parent. And as soon as you bring my kids into that picture, I'm done. I'm like, I need to be my best, because of I have little people that I'm putting into this world so they can be lights. I have a husband that I want to take care of, and I want to love, and I want to give him my best. Right? So it's just, I think that kind of puts things into perspective, and that's how I bounce back. There are certain circumstances that take me longer to bounce back than others. But it's just like I have to continue doing it, and I have the attitude that I'm going to do it no matter what.
So for me, it was a huge personal progress, because when people did talk trash, not because of something I did, but just energy wise, and like, oh, this guy is faking whatever. I have a tendency that I want people to like me.
Yeah.
Right, like I think that's one of my biggest reasons, and I need to realize that there's 100% people in the entire world. There's no way that 100% people are going to like me. I'm going to offend, or I'm going to say something that's not going to be in accordance to their belief, upbringing, or whatever, and they're going to, whatever. But when it hits home, like close to me, and then they're not family, but like
Someone close.
Someone close. It's I'm like, oh, why don't they like me? And then it that whole mirror neurons that you're talking about, I've gone so much better, where their negativity is starting to affect me versus the other way around.
Yeah.
And so so it's interesting, because you take this from a empathetic point of view. Well, maybe they're going through something, or they've gone through something that's forcing them to do what they do. I take it from like, I just don't care. Like, to whatever, but I don't like.
I know. I heard you because often when you're experiencing this, you like your 3 words are like, I don't care. I don't have time for this. I have a business. I have a family.
Yeah.
Or 4. Your 4 sentences. It's like legit. Whenever we're talking about something that's
true.
going on,
Yeah, it's true.
Truth be told, I know what's coming after. Like after you tell me what's happening, I know the 4 sentences you're gonna tell me after.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true.
Yeah, but it's hard because I totally get it. But I also do feel, I don't know. I think in a way, at least for me, not saying this with you, that I do care. Sometimes it does hurt, right? Like it hurts to have somebody talk crap about you, or it hurts to have somebody give you attitude, or not be able to look at you in the eye, or just like do everything they can to get away from you. You know, like you feel it, you sense it, and it hurts. But it's just
no questions asked. I like your version better because with mine, I feel like I get too cold, and then I'm less quick to whatever goodness, but then the version that I take, I think it's very it's negative because I get into a phase where it's just okay, well I don't care then, it's just whatever, I don't have time for this, and and I got a family business and you know people to take care of and whatever, but so I do recognize that is not good. I like your version better because you're still coming from a point of view of love and understanding.
So I read this thing about unconditional love this past week.
I don't like it. What is it? So
by the way, the Chapmans, Blanchard, Mendoza's, Wilmots, Bernal. You can log off anytime, Ed. Just kidding.
So this is so here's the, hang on one second. This is the stab and then the turn, right? Like this is nobody cares, Ed. Nobody cares.
No, actually, you know what? It works out well for us because
I don't care about those people.
Listen, our podcast is at 10 o'clock. It's 7 their time, so it's perfect time for you guys to watch.
7.
So, yeah, because 3 hours behind. Is it 3 hours behind? Yeah,
No.
It's 3 hours. There's 3 hours or 2? Maybe they're 2. There's a time difference.
They're Utah time.
No.
Yeah.
They're more. Utah time is 1 hour.
No, 2 hours.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, because general conference for them. General conference. Hey,
Joshua.
Josh.
Sorry, Joshua. I'm treating him like his proper name.
I know.
That's how he wants to be treated.
Josh is my iron buddy. He's we go to the gym in the morning together.
Yeah.
This guy's getting big now, eh?
I can't. You know what? Let's 2 hours in Alberta.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, babe. Thank you, Ed. Everybody's correcting me. Clearly, I was wrong.
Utah's too.
Thank you, babe.
Thanks, babe.
Anyway, talking with regards to this, yeah.
Yeah, no, you and again, I do enjoy your version better.
But you know why I go with that version too? Because it gives. Oh yeah, I was telling you about this book that I read, right? That talked about unconditional love and how we all have difficulties with it because we always put our love according to things that we want, whether our family, kids, and whatever to do, right? But one of the things that I really enjoyed about reading that is that unconditional love allows people to be themselves and allows them to progress and grow because they're not reacting to how we're reacting, right? Because often if you have a reaction, somebody else is going to have a reaction.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of that I feel empowering, and I feel like I allow people to just be people, to come to terms in their time. And then if the relationship ever got better, there's nothing and no regrets on my part. I don't know, just some thoughts. That's what I say. What I do is mostly close to that, but I do struggle. I don't want to say that I don't struggle. I totally do.
Yeah. No, definitely. Thanks, man. Josh, who lives in Ontario. See, Josh is my circle.
He's the inner circle.
He's my inner circle. Not like those are Alberta people.
Anyway.
No, and it's true. And this is the thing where we have to understand that for us, it's confidence, and people see it as boasting.
Some people, I guess.
Yeah, and then that
was today's topic, right?
That's today's topic, right? So what's the difference between confidence and boast? And I think it's a 2-part thing. I think number 1 is how it's being delivered. Are you being the scriptures talk about being careful not to set yourself up as the new savior? Look what I did.
Look at me.
I'm amazing. Look what I can do. Look at all that other stuff.
Miguel's like, see all this podcast? I did it. See all this? It's me. You're welcome, Maria, for bringing you in.
see these arms? That's all me, right? That's boasting,
Yeah.
right? And then versus confidence, it's more like you're doing you're being happy and all this other stuff. However, at the same, so that's the one part. Then there's the receiving end.
Okay.
Where in the receiving end, it might be maybe the same energy, right? But then you're delivering it as confidence. Like I'm happy where I am. I'm excited. I'm my family, this business, and all this other stuff. And they're seeing you, and they're like, that person's boasting. So you can't control how they feel, right? You can't.
It's so true. And if you focus on that, your life is going to be horrible.
That's been my, I don't want to say struggle, but that's been my.
That's what's like tying you down.
That
it's like a heavy burden.
It is. It is. And I have to come to a realization. And I'm glad Josh is on here, is because Josh, he's like, what is it? The difference with confidence and boasting is how you use your abilities. Okay. And Josh is the kind of guy like, you don't like me? Okay.
Oh yeah, I heard him like when we had that games night.
Yeah.
And the way that he interacted, it was like, I'm cool if you see it, I'm cool if you don't.
Yeah.
Like no, like.
And that's his whole thing, right? And so that's the one thing I admire about him that I'm trying to
emulate
from Josh. So Josh, just to let
little
you
shout
know.
out to Josh.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, but it's like he's like, okay. He's like, you're and this one thing he always says, he goes, you're entitled to your opinion.
Oh yeah, I think he said that to me.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said, but I think I was like.
But the way that he says it, it's like
I was offended, Josh.
But the way that he says it, it bounces off of him, right?
Yeah,
and
it's
then
true.
I'm like, frick, that I want a little bit of Josh.
Well, you know what? Have you ever felt when somebody else is sharing their opinion and you totally don't see it that way? And for me, my heart is like, and I'm like so ready to like try to interject, and I have to remind myself like, it's okay. People are allowed to see the world how they want to see it, right?
Yeah. And we don't give that grace, right? And so here's the thing: it all comes down in full circle. What we talked about in the beginning of our podcast is that because we don't give people grace to allow them to view the world in their own way, that we decide to be offended.
Yeah.
And we've swung too far to the right or to the left that we've become professional at being offended because we don't. And you said it too early. We don't give people grace.
Yeah, I think one of the things that can increase your quality of life is just choose not to be offended. It's a choice. It's a hard choice sometimes because there are things that can be triggering.
Yeah.
Offense is not given. It's not taken. Oh man, hold on. Okay, so we have Ed who says, with confidence, you have won before you have started. Very true.
Okay.
And then Hermano Rivera, you're entitled to your wrong opinion. 100%.
An offense is taken, not given.
Yeah.
So that's powerful.
Yeah, it's so true. No, it's true because you're in control. If it goes kind of what we were talking about before too, just taking that extreme accountability. We have two choices in life. We can take accountability or we can take offense, right? If you take accountability, then that means you are in the power seat. You get to choose how you're going to react. If you kind of take offense, you're allowing somebody else to dictate how you're feeling. They're dictating your weather. So, whatever situation's going on, you walk away, but you take that with you. As opposed to if
You're dropping a lot of truth bombs here today, eh?
Am I? I'm like, listen, I'm like, I started a new workout program. It might be how the intensity of it. I just carried it with me. I'm all like jacked. You think Josh is jacked? Watch me. Just kidding. Just kidding.
You should join us on a workout.
Oh my gosh, I would love to actually.
Well, you should come. We go 4:30. We're very like.
I get up at 4:30 though.
Yeah,
so I would have to get up at 4.
So we hit the gym at 4:30 in the morning. So we're in the building at 4:30, and then we work out for about an hour and a half.
Okay, we'll talk logistics. I'll definitely join you once. Only if you guys join me for one of my workouts too.
No,
Why?
screw that, because I've seen what you do. And you're
Josh, you're cordially invited to this workout as well.
No.
What do you mean? No. It's gonna be fine.
You will never. I'm telling you. I promise.
Why?
No,
I don't
no.
understand what the problem is.
Stop. You need
Do
to.
you think you're too good for my workouts?
No,
is that what you're saying?
No, it's because I'm not good enough for your workout. You need to understand one thing right now. I see what you do.
What do you mean? Like, what do I do? Okay, I'm listening.
Are you like? You got problems if you think that I am going to step in your basement, because you work on your basement, right?
I work in my basement.
There's no way. You have squares, and I'm like, those are torture chambers, right? So you got these squares there, and then you show clips, and I always follow you, right? So I'm always watching your workouts and stuff like that. You are sweating.
Oh, I love sweating.
And you can't even breathe.
100%.
There's no way you'll catch me doing any of that stuff.
Best workout I had this when I work out hardcore, I cry, right? Like legit.
Yeah.
So this Saturday workout was like a cardio workout. It was 45 minutes of insanity. I was like literally crying, and I was on the ground like, okay, I'm getting up.
Yeah, you're
I
not.
It. It was so good.
You are not encouraging me to join you. That's what you're doing. So?
See, Josh? Yeah, there we go. Let's do it.
Josh,
Maria's
listen.
getting the
Josh.
Yes. Oh, hold on. Okay, we got some quotes there.
What?
Okay, so Ed says, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that quote.
What's NLG stand for? NGL.
I'm too old. I don't know. Let me Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Come on, Josh.
What is?
Do you know how old we are? So he's game for working out.
You're not.
Yes, you are. You're
Josh.
game. Don't listen to him. Let's see what Day says. Sometimes instead of being reactive, we should work at being proactive. Decide beforehand how you will handle different types of people. So when that situation arises, you already know. Truth bomb right there.
Yeah.
Have dress rehearsals in your mind.
Yeah.
Have like, okay, if this happened, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. You are dropping. You are carrying today's podcast. Holy crap, dude! It's just one punch after another. Like honestly, normally I'm the one that's dropping bombs and stuff like that, and you're just like,
I'm just sitting looking pretty here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You're
tell me more.
You're just riding the wave. But today, honestly, Maria.
See, Ed is like, fight. Not gonna lie. See, there we go.
Okay, so I will tell you, Josh, before you commit to anything,
you guys are gonna be fine. You guys work out all the time.
Let me finish. Listen to me. Before you commit to anything, go to Maria's stories. Take a look at what she does.
That's fine. You're gonna be like, I'll be able to do that. It's gonna be fine. Oh, not gonna lie. Oh,
yeah.
So both Josh and Day told us, and we're like, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
What is that?
And
so then Jay has to like, Day full out has to like spell it out for us. Sorry,
in
guys.
all caps.
We look.
NGL.
I mean, we look great, but we old.
Relax.
Oh my gosh.
So I cry every time we work out. I won't be any difference. No. But see, this is the thing is, Josh, there is a difference. And I'll tell you what the difference is between our workout and
I know exactly what workout we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be good.
I'm not doing. I haven't committed to anything because
it's only 30 minutes. It will be 30 minutes. It'll be quick and done. I promise. I won't pick up like an hour workout. It'll be 30 minutes. Or okay. Yeah, it's 30 minutes.
Working on what?
It is cardio, but you use your don't worry, it's a cardio.
I do worry. No, I do worry. Don't listen. I'm not one of your kids. Like, don't worry. This flu shot's gonna be okay. Just think of something else.
This is what I say to them. I'm like, it'll hurt a little bit, but you'll be better after. You'll be stronger.
I'm not gonna be stronger.
Yes, you will.
I'm not.
We'll do pre-workout. Like we'll full out pre-workout. We work out, and it'll be awesome because I know that because I'm working out with other people, I'm going to push like 110%.
Oh yeah. Please let me sign up for that page. You are saying everything wrong right now. You're like the worst sales rep in the entire world. No, first of all, read the room, right? Read the room, read the person, and then tailor it to
Miguel,
that.
I promise we're going to baby step it.
Seriously, I don't believe you. You're a big fat liar. You're a big fat liar.
It sounds like Josh is proactive. Too many reactive people in the world. NGL. What's NGL? No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best.
Yeah, there's anyways, we'll no. Yeah, but you should join our workout. Well, we just do weights. We don't do we're starting to do a little bit of cardio, but we don't do much cardio.
How about okay, I'll definitely join. I do enjoy weights. How about we do like a one cardio session too? Just together. Like I'll do the weights with you guys. That's no problem. I love weights. But I'm like, we just do a cardio. You know, cardio is good as well.
I know it's good.
Like,
I'll do the step master. And then I can just regulate the thing.
But that's not, you're not exploring your potential.
Good for you.
You're just living in your box.
I'm okay with that box.
You're not going from vision to success. You're just like in this dark like place of complacency.
I'm okay with that. I'm really okay.
Okay.
Michelle's got a lot to say here.
Okay, I can't see, so you gotta read it.
Okay, so Michelle says, okay, going back to the topic here. She says, something to consider is when people's opinion affects others, for example, going back to why the school had a problem with the term ghetto is because it perpetuated a stereotype of black men and boys. And when people believe in these stereotypes, it can affect their lives and how the world interacts with them. Mm-hmm. For example, how police interact with unarmed black men and boys. So it's an attempt to eliminate these stereotypes.
So question. So does that mean like, it's hard. Like I totally get what you're saying, Michelle. And I totally understand where it's coming from. I just, like in the same token, I just feel like we're so quick to police others mm-hmm. and to tell everybody else what we're doing wrong. Like we had this conversation with a friend of mine with regards to just how many different terms now are inappropriate to say, even though they don't come from like a negative place, mm-hmm. right? So I don't know. Like I totally get what you're saying. Absolutely.
I hear what she's saying. My challenge is this, right? So here's another example. I worked with the First Nations tribe. This mm-hmm. So it would have been 3 years before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I was up there in their thing, and I forget what the word was. I think it was depression. She says that in their community, the word depression didn't exist. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until they got colonized, or not the word colonized, sorry. It wasn't until, like the people came over or whatever.
That would be colonized.
Okay, colonized.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's offensive or whatever. That's why I'm taking it back. But,
I think it's the proper term. But, okay, let's go.
But even right now,
I know, right?
Even right now,
I know.
It's like, what do you say? What do you don't say? But anyways, this person was saying, this elder, she says that word didn't exist. But the minute it got introduced, it started taking effect in their community.
Okay.
Right? So here's the thing is, somebody must have said that ghetto's a bad word.
Well, I'm like thinking even about the songs that I was listening, like Ghetto Superstar. Ghetto Superstar. I'm like 100%. I'm like.
So back in the day, that wasn't an offensive word, right? But then somebody decided, oh, this word is, and it's probably wasn't even of that culture, whatever that, or if that word is tied to a race or a culture, I don't know. I think it's mostly tied to whatever. But
I know I remember singing that song with you, girl, in your car, Ghetto Superstar. I guess we can't sing it anymore.
Right? But so here, like, and so somebody decided that's an offensive word, and so then therefore let's all be offended together. And if somebody says it, there's no room for forgiveness, and let's just cancel this person right away.
So this is my thoughts. Okay, they may be a little. What's that word?
Unpopular.
Maybe it's a little unpopular, but I'm a firm believer. Like there was a quote that by Eleanor Roosevelt, that nobody else can make you feel inferior. You have to give people that opportunity to make you feel that way, right? I know it's a tall glass of water. I know that there's a lot of like traumas and things that people go through mm-hmm. that not necessarily they can identify with that phrase. But I am a firm believer that taking your power back means that you see your worth no matter what. You see your worth even if somebody else tells you that you're not worth it. You see your worth and you do things in order to feed that. Yes, will there be voices that are telling you crap and saying like how maybe you're not worth it or like all that? Yes, absolutely. There probably will be. But it is your responsibility. It is my responsibility to feed my mind with things that tell me otherwise. I can't expect the world to tell me that I'm worthy. I can't expect the world to tell me that I'm beautiful.
Right.
I can't expect the world to say that I have the perfect body. I cannot put that expectation of the world because we're all imperfect people.
Right.
Right. But if I put that that responsibility on myself, that I am going to learn to be happy with who I am, and I'm not going to give that power to somebody else to make me happy or to make me feel like I'm worth it, that I'm valuable, that, you know, all these things, right? So I think in essence, is it hard to do? Yes. Is it the perfect solution to everything? No. But I do believe that that is how we get closer to having that ability to not be so influenced by the trends of the world, by the pendulum swings.
Yeah.
Right? Is by realizing that we all, one, are valuable regardless of what other people say. And then second, feeding that into ourselves and not expecting somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Will there be challenges? Absolutely. I don't want to minimize that. Will there be systemic challenges? Will there be still like people being people and being horrible? Absolutely. But can't put everything on them. We have to put an onus on us.
Yeah. And okay. And what to Michelle's point here is, of course you can, but the school's setting is a little different because the teachers are responsible for teaching kids.
There's always going to be a but.
So yes and no. So I agree with Michelle on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the kids are growing up not thinking that the word ghetto is bad.
They're learning that
because the kids weren't offended. The kids were excited.
Was it like a teacher then?
Yes.
Oh.
It was a teacher, but that's my whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The kids were excited to dance the song. They were like, "Ghetto's original," and these are legit crews that exist that exist in Toronto, right? That are breakdancing crews. And I don't know if these crews exist. I would imagine that they do, but they were phenomenal. And they named themselves Ghetto's Original, and the other crew named themselves Back to Basics. And so when I do this particular workshop, I talk about those two crews and how amazing they were and how phenomenal they were and how creative they were and how every time we competed against them, how we always lost against them because they were so amazing. So I'm not telling these kids, if you're from the ghetto, you're bad. I'm telling these kids that there's these two crews, dance crews, that are phenomenal.
You're talking facts.
I'm talking. This is facts. Yeah. This is not make believe, right? And so I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to break you guys up into two groups, and you're going to represent these two groups. These kids are excited to scream Ghetto's Original and Back to Basics. So kids are not offended, right? Kids are growing up that this is just another word. It's not until the teacher comes in and says, hey, this is a word that we should be offended, and you need to change your entire word. You need to change your entire vocabulary, and I'm going to be offended for everybody here, and then we need to cancel you. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Because kids are not offended. Kids are not. They didn't go into this workshop. Kids are not. Well, I'm mad because he used this word, and it was this anyway. So that's.
I agree, because that's happened to you a few times with regards to like.
It's twice. It's happened to me twice, and so.
No, I can totally see it, but I'm like it's. I think the only thing that we can control is how we ourselves behave and how we parent our kids.
I know.
At the end of the day, you definitely shouldn't be canceled for it.
Thank you. Yeah.
See, so that's the thing, right? I'm like, this is my quick takeaways. Okay, if you offend someone, absolutely apologize, because it does not matter if you did not intend it.
I agree.
What matters is how the person received it, and your intention was never to hurt that person. So please apologize and be genuine about it.
I agree.
Right. The second takeaway. Take your onus back, take your power, teach your kids these skills, because remember, your kids, if you have kids at home, these are the little people that are going into the world. They're going to be bringing your mindset and your beliefs into the world. Yeah. So make sure that whatever you're putting into their mindset aligns with your values, aligns with your views, empowers them to know that they can be lights and help other people, right? Like help them to take accountability and not be so influenced by what everybody else does.
Yeah. And because you are that confident, people will see it as boasting, but who cares? It doesn't matter. Forgive them. For some people.
Yeah.
Right?
Just let it go. Like let go of that burden is not for you to carry.
Yeah.
Don't take other people's burden. Even in this whole thing of social justice, 100% always fight and like be there for people. but don't do it so much that burden is so heavy on you that it affects your relationships with your loved ones.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen, and I'm like, and it's not something that is conducive for a person's mental health, a person's family, right? Like it doesn't do any well if you carry that burden so tight. Absolutely fight for everybody's right. Like everybody deserves a right to be treated right and to be treated fairly and have the same opportunities. But take accountability for the things that you can, and then everything else that is not within your wheel of influence, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts anyway. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. I'm allowed to have my opinion, right?
Yeah. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Oh, no, that's not it.
What are we checking out?
Hang on. Yep. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. Let me share something cool. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Even the word guys, I'm always scared to use it.
Oh, I know, right? I call everybody guys.
The what?
I guess I'll keep using that term until I get corrected. And when I do, I will apologize and use something else.
I'm always getting corrected. I'm like, yeah,
you're still using it,
and I'm still using it.
So what do you say, ladies and gents, or
I'm
people?
I'm not.
Hi,
even,
people.
I'm not even allowed to say ladies.
Persons.
It's people and everyone.
Hey, okay, yeah.
But I'm not allowed to say. And again, that's another thing. I went into the school. I'm like, hey, ladies and gentlemen. And one little kid comes up to me. She goes, I'm not this little girl, right? And she goes, I'm not a lady. I'm a girl. And I'm like, well, you're a lady. I go, a lady is not necessarily age. Is like a lady is what you aspire to be, right? I thought it was a killer answer.
You got canceled.
I got. It's like, no, you shouldn't be using ladies and gentlemen. It should be more inclusive. And I'm like,
okay. In our efforts to be inclusive, thank you everyone for watching.
What ideas for?
What if ideas for?
No. What if ideas?
As a furry, yeah, there is that. Listen, we don't discriminate. We love everyone, whatever you identify with. We love everyone. Please be patient with us as we are learning. This is it's a new season of life that we haven't had this vocabulary in like.
I know.
It's been the last since COVID maybe. COVID brought with it this whole brand new vocabulary.
Yeah, terms.
Yeah,
kids use folks now. Yeah.
Hey, folks.
Until hang on 1 second. So right now the term is folks until somebody gets offended, and then they're gonna
sounds too much like a swear word. I'm offended.
No, folks. It's for older people. I'm not a folk, anyways. So here's what I wanted to show or share with you guys.
With you folks, babe,
everyone.
Folks. Did I call you babe? I'm sorry if I did.
Did you?
I think I saw Mike there and I said babe. I'm like awkward.
If you go to our MTC Life page, check this out. You have here, if you go to the library section, so media, and it's not showing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can go to the library, and these are some of the books that we're recommending. Now,
100%.
We want to tell you, just to be transparent here, it is an affiliated program or an affiliated link. So every time that you do purchase a book, it does help out the show a lot. And so,
but is that not cost to you? It's the same price that you'd buy it anywhere.
Yeah,
so.
It's the same thing. It's just we're getting we get rewarded for recommending these books and stuff like that. So.
If finances is in your 2023 goal, highly, highly recommend that you start out with Think and Grow Rich. That book is mind blowing.
Which one?
Think and Grow Rich. You have it there. Number 10, I think.
Think and Grow Rich. Out of all of these, which one's your favorite one?
Out of all of them, I would go. Oh, number 11. I would go. As a Man Think It is really good too. If you're struggling with self-belief or in the way that you see yourself, As a Man Think It. 100%.
So my two favorite books are these two right here. So John C. Maxwell, The Law
of Leadership.
21 Irrefutable Laws to Leadership. Mm-hmm. It's the first book I've ever read in my entire life when it comes to human progression. Oh my gosh, changed my life.
Yeah.
The second book is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, so I would have, if your goals are different, like if you have finance goals, Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
If you have goals of
even
improving,
Rich Dad and Poor Dad.
Rich Dad and Poor Dad, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is in here as well.
But you know what? I would actually start off with Think and Grow Rich because that goes to the very basics of like a human like thought process.
Okay.
And then I would go into the Rich Dad and Poor Dad, because he talks more about acquiring assets and all that. And like your mindset as well. But okay, so finances, I would do Think and Grow Rich. If you're struggling with your thought processes and you just want to know how to best see yourself and improve yourself, As a Man Thinketh. And in my third one is that if you just want to know how to develop some good habits without feeling stressed, Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you just want to be able to learn how to like develop more relationships, maybe your goal is to be friendlier, to develop more relationships, I would do How to Influence People.
Yeah. So again, between Maria and I, these are all the books that we've read and that help us grow the MTC Life brand. And so we highly, highly recommend you checking out these books. And again, to be transparent, it isn't. These links are affiliated, and so you will be definitely helping out the show. So
yeah, so
absolutely.
Develop your mind, nurture it, love it, and trust me, exactly from there is where you're going to be able to see the change in your outward life.
Maria, what was your takeaway?
That I don't want to be canceled.
We have to be careful. We have to be careful what we say before we get canceled.
100%. No, okay. So my takeaway is just have some extreme accountability. That's the only way that you can change your own personal life. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You can do it yourself. What's yours?
My takeaway was mirror neurons. I never realized. I've always knew that energy is infectious. Yeah. So you walk into a room and you're positive, and then people tend to mimic your energy. I never realized that it was along the same lines, baseline, as yawning. Yeah. And that it's the science behind it. They're like, it's not. It just goes above beyond the energy level. But there's a science facts to it, is that we tend to mirror. We have those neurons.
Yeah, so life is a mirror. So if you look at it, if there's things going on that you don't like, just assess inward. That's the only way that you can change it.
I'm telling you right now, to me, this podcast, what you teaching that, it's been the biggest aha moment.
Yeah. A therapy session?
No, it wasn't. No. It's like I just didn't have the answer to it. I knew that it existed, and I knew that if I walk into a room and I'm happy, people will start to, fill in that energy as well. I knew it worked. I just didn't know how.
There you go.
I know that if I hit the gas pedal, I know that the car's going to go forward. Do I know how it works? I don't know how it works, right?
See, those are the little nuggets that you pick up when you read, right?
Yeah.
Like, personal development is key.
Yeah.
So everything that I share on here is based on like what I've read and what I've applied in my life and seen it work.
Yeah. And if you want to support the show, guys, people, folks, you lifers.
You lifers.
These are all our social links right there, right there. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe, like, do us a massive favor and just share this content, please. It helps the show, helps the thing. There's something that we said here that could either help somebody or
cancel us. I don't know.
Or cancel us, trigger us. But
either way, let's find out.
No bad publicity. Bad publicity is no bad. Is what?
No, hold on. No bad. You guys know what we mean. All right, that's our cue to go out, because clearly we're losing our train of thought.
Clearly, we had no idea what we're talking about.
All right, thank you for joining in. Thanks, guys. Thank you for all the comments, everyone.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Get a minute, don't know. Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your. Hush up, gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Part of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye.